Peter answers like we all hope we would. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. The only question was whether or not he meant it. Jesus tells Peter that that insight came directly from the Father. It's a moment of revelation. Peter sees clearly who Jesus is, and then almost immediately that clarity is tested. Jesus begins to explain to the disciples what being the Christ will require. He speaks very plainly about suffering and rejection and death and even his resurrection. He's preparing them for the road ahead. Peter, we're told, though, pulls Jesus to the side and rebukes him. And you do not rebuke someone you believe is Messiah unless you think your understanding of the mission is better than his. Peter's confession is correct. His theology about the title is sound. What he has not yet surrendered is his definition of what Messiah should do. He wants a Christ who conquers without bleeding and reigns without a cross. He accepts the identity of Jesus, but he resists the path that Jesus has chosen. This is where the cross begins. Long before wood and nails, there is a decision. Jesus does not discover the cross at the end of his ministry. He embraces it right in the middle of it. He refuses the version of Messiah that avoids suffering, and he sets his face toward the will of God, even when it leads to humiliation and loss. When Peter rebukes him, Jesus responds sharply because the stakes are eternal. He tells him, you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man. Peter, your imagination is shaped by survival and status. The Father's will is shaped by redemption. And that tension still lives in you and me. We confess Jesus as Lord. We affirm that he is Christ. But when his way confronts our preferences, we begin to reinterpret. We do not deny him. We simply adjust the road and assume obedience must preserve comfort. The cross before the cross is this moment when Jesus refuses to let even a loyal disciple redefine his mission. He chooses suffering over applause because the Father's will matters more than vindication. So the question for us is not whether we can say the right words about Jesus. The question is whether we will follow him when his road contradicts our expectations. Where have you embraced his authority but resisted his direction? Discipleship begins right here, not at the spectacle of crucifixion, but at the surrender of expectation, at the point where we stop trying to protect him from the obedience that will save us. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me before the noise today. And don't forget, following Christ means trusting him enough to accept the road he chooses.